Namaste everybody, welcome to today's morning class. So today's morning flow is suitable for all levels. I will offer different variations if needed, and you're more than welcome to have some yoga blocks handy, either to get you deeper into a pose or to help you ease into a pose if it's a little bit tough for your body. So today we're going to do a little bit of focus on the spine and on the digestive system. So perhaps you've had a bit of a full meal last night and you're feeling a bit sluggish, you've woken up a bit full, maybe your spine is a little achy, perhaps you've slept a little funny. I know that's happened to me many times, so I thought this will be a really lovely morning class for you guys. So we're going to start off on our hands and knees in tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's take our cat-cow, so inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch. Keep the breath deep in and out of the nostrils. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch. Tuck the chin and the tailbone. 3 more. One more. Slide your hands forward and make sure that your bum is still, your hip bones are still in line with your knees. Extend your arms out long in front of you and bring your forehead to the floor, or you can rest your forehead onto a block. Hug your belly button back and breathe deep. Keep your elbows lifted off the ground. Okay, roll forward and come on down into Sphinx pose. So plant your elbows underneath your shoulders. Keep this a little engaged by squeezing your shoulder blades back behind you. Look forwards. Breathe deep. If you're more intermediate, you can come up into a full cobra for a much deeper back bend. Squeeze your glutes. Come back into your tabletop. Raise your right arm up to the sky, look up. Take that right arm underneath the left for your thread the needle. Try to keep your hips in line with your knees. This front arm, you can either have it placed on the ground just in front of you, you can place it on your bum, or take a grip of the inside edge of your right thigh. Breathe deep into this twist. Plant the top hand down. Inhale, raise that arm back to the sky. Look up and plant it down. Raise the left hand, look up. And thread your needle. Take that arm underneath the right. Take the right arm either on the ground, keep it there. Place it on your tailbone. Or if it's possible, take a grip of the inside edge of your left thigh. Breathe deep through the nose. Okay, plant that hand back on the ground. Inhale, raise that left arm back to the sky, look up. Plant it down. We're going to make our way to downward facing dog. So you may be stiff because it's first thing in the morning, so just walk your legs, walk your dog, bend and straighten the legs. Make sure your hands are around shoulder distance, feet around hip distance. Hug that belly button back towards your spine. If your heels don't touch the mat, then that's okay. It may come with time. You can always bend your legs as much as you need to in downward facing dog. If you're comfortable in down dog, stay here. If you're more of a beginner, there's something very helpful if you struggle in down dog. Use both of your blocks shoulder distance just to raise your hands up. Just this slight elevation of the wrist actually decreases the angle that your hand is at to the ground. So it may make your downward facing dog feel a lot more comfortable for you. So that's an option. Let's keep our breath nice and deep here in down dog. Right, we're going to take some rolls, so roll your spine forward, nice and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Come to plank, hold it just to fire up your core. Squeeze your glutes, keep your bum in line with your head. Now drop your hips slowly, but keep your knees and your thighs elevated for a back bend. This is up dog. And then send your tailbone back to the sky, downward facing dog. We're going to take 3 more just like that in your own time. Roll the spine forward. Plank. Drop the hips, thighs and knees stay above the ground. Look forwards, press your chest through your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, roll forward, plank. Hold your plank just for a moment. Drop your hips slowly, look forwards. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Last one, roll forward to plank. Hold your plank just for a moment. Drop the hips. Look forwards, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Raise your right leg. Look forwards and come on forwards, roll forwards, lift your core up. Hold that knee just for a moment. And then step as far forward as you possibly can into a runner's lunge. You can find a little rock or a little bounce. If this is not accessible, just use your blocks to elevate your arms. So you can use your blocks either side of your foot. And then slowly lower that back knee down to the ground into a low lunge. You can take your hands to your knee for some support, or take your arms to the sky, look up. Now you can take this right arm down to a block over to your side body, taking a side body stretch. So stretching over towards the right, and you'll feel a deep stretch into your psoas muscle here on the left side. If you don't need your block, just bring your hand to the ground. Send your hips forward, stretching out the psoas muscle, getting deep into there, helps to release the lower spine, the lower back. Tilt your chest to the sky, look up. Hold the stretch, take a few deep breaths. You can always rest your head into your palm. All right, come on forwards and start to straighten the front leg. Keep your hips nice and parallel so they're facing forwards. Raise your toes off the ground, point them to the sky, and just lean over this front leg, getting a hamstring stretch. You can start to come a little lower, or you can stay up tall. You can even use a block to keep you even higher if needed. Come on forward, back to your low lunge. We're going to plant our hands, come up off the back knee, step to your plank. Hold your plank just for a breath. Drop your hips, look forwards, inhale, upward facing dog. Send your spine back to the sky, downward facing dog. Raise your left leg to the sky, look forwards, bring it towards your chest, lift up, come onto the tippy toes of the back foot, step as far forward as you possibly can into your runner's lunge. You can use your blocks, either side of the foot if needed. Find a rock or a bounce if that feels good. Getting deep into that psoas muscle. Slowly drop the back knee to the ground. In for your low lunge. You can bring your hands to the front knee for some support, or raise it to the sky, look up. Taking this left hand down to the ground or to your block. Right arm goes up and over the ear. Tilt your chest slightly towards the sky for a side body stretch on the right, getting deep into the right psoas. You can rest your head into your palm. Breathe deep into the side body stretch. Release the head if it's resting in your hand. Plant the hands either side of the front foot and start to straighten that front leg. Take the toes to face the sky. Bend into the knee, the front knee, as much as you need to. You can stay up on your fingertips, you can stay up high on a block. Just make sure you're getting a nice stretch down this hamstring. Keep your hips aligned with each other, so your hips should be parallel to each other. Roll forwards back to your low lunge. Plant your hands shoulder distance. Lift up off the back knee. Step into your plank. Hold your plank for a breath. Slowly lower your hips down, look forwards, upward facing dog. Send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Walk your feet slightly closer to your hands. And if possible, you can just stay in down dog, but if it's possible, take a grip with your left hand to your right ankle, taking a twist, looking underneath your right shoulder. So a twisted down dog. Plant that hand back. Take a grip of the opposite foot with the opposite arm, right arm to the left foot. Gaze underneath your left shoulder. And plant your hand back, downward facing dog. From here, bring your knees down to the ground. Open up through your feet. Take a block and place it underneath your bum and take a seat. I don't know if you remember sitting like this in front of the telly when you're a child, or if you have children, you'll notice they sit like this naturally. This is called hero pose. So just sit up tall just for a moment, just feel into it. If it's uncomfortable, just raise your hips a little higher, maybe with your second block. If it's possible, you can just sit down on the floor between your heels. So make sure your heels are close to your hips. Take your arms out long, either side of your body, lock your elbows, drop your head to the left. So whilst we're in hero pose, we're going to stretch out the neck. So just start to find some lovely neck rolls. Rolling from shoulder to shoulder, drop your shoulders down away from the ears. Keep the breath deep. Take one more roll back over to the left or the right, wherever you are. Come up to center. Plant your hands. Bring your knees hip distance, feet knee distance, so you're in a nice parallel leg position here. We're going to take our head, the crown of the head, towards the ground. Take a grip of your heels. Put no pressure into your skull. So your head should just slightly be touching the ground. Take a grip of your heels. You can either tuck your toes or keep your heels up in the sky. You can watch me first. This is called rabbit pose. And really pull your spine up towards the sky. You'll feel a stretch behind your shoulders, maybe even down your spine. And come on out of it, release. Let's come on down onto our backs. We're going to take a reclined twist. So just hug your knees up towards your body to start with. And to do our reclined twist, take your arms out into a T shape, parallel with each other. Lift your legs up to the sky. Wrap your right leg once or twice in sort of eagle legs around each other. Send your hips towards the right just a little bit. Drop your knees to the left. Take your gaze to the right. So your knees are facing the opposite direction to your gaze. And in this twist, just let go Allow your right shoulder blade to melt down towards the ground. Your twist should be coming from the upper spine. Take one more deep breath on this side. Take your gaze to the center, lift your knees back up. Uncross the knees, take a grip of the outside edges of the feet so that your elbows on the inside edges of your knees. Pull your knees down towards the ground and try to keep your tailbone down towards the mat in our happy baby. You can find a rocking motion if that feels good to you. Rocking from side to side and pulling those knees down towards the ground, opening up through the hips. Again, breathe deep. Okay, release the feet, open up through the arms again and lift your feet up to the sky. Wrap this left leg once or twice in eagle legs and then slightly take your tailbone towards the left, dropping your knees to the right and taking your gaze to the left. Concentrate on twisting this upper thoracic part of the spine. And you want to try and draw this left shoulder blade down towards the ground if possible. And try to draw your knees towards the floor. You can always use your right hand to press your knees down a little further to the ground. Keep your breath deep. Okay, take your gaze back to the sky and your knees back to center. Uncross the legs, just hug your knees up towards yourself just for a moment. Now take a grip behind the legs and let's roll out the spine. So we're going to find some momentum to potentially just rock along the spine, almost massaging it. Just go slowly. Make sure you don't strain yourself, finding a little bit of rocking momentum here. And then cross your legs nice and slowly. Find your way into a cross-legged position. And we're going to end the class here together. So let's just take a moment. Take your hands to your knees, palms face the sky. Take just a minute with me of total silence. Close your eyes, spine nice and long, shoulders relaxed, facial muscles relaxed down. Come back to a natural breath. Before you open your eyes, just set an intention for your day ahead. It can be one word, it can be a sentence. Whatever it may be, just say it to yourself. Before opening the eyes, just raise the wrists and rotate them in one direction. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Raise the hands to the sky, touch the palms and let your face follow. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bow your head just for a moment, repeat the words to yourself. Bat your eyes open. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this morning flow. Hope it's released your spine a little, ready for the day ahead. And also maybe helped a little bit with digestion. You may have found yourself blow off a little bit. And that's okay, don't worry. That's totally natural with yoga, especially some of these poses where we press our knees into our belly and things like that. So just laugh at yourself. It's all in the name of fun. So until next time, have a lovely day, and I would love it if you could leave me a comment, like, subscribe, and also if you can share, that would be fantastic. And of course, I will be very grateful if you feel the need to leave me a little donation. There's a heart button to do so. Until next time, see you soon.